Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Dan. City at home to Peterborough, and I wasn't there.
No.
I missed it. Missed the posh.
Never mind all that.
Okay.
Have you seen the latest news?
What's the latest news?
Oasis are back together.
I had seen that. Yeah.
Big news in the rock music world,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is big news, yeah.
Do you think they've been pretending to be estranged from each other for these years in order to secure this mammoth payday?
Interesting. Perhaps.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you go in?
No,
No.
definitely not.
No.
It'll be how much? What do you reckon?
Ticket price?
Yeah, cheapest.
85?
Yeah, I'd say lowest. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? I don't know how much. I saw them at West Point in 95, 96.
I bet that was good.
I remember enjoying Travis more, which I wouldn't say out loud at the time, but...
I'm sort of Travis, a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine,
Oh, are
actually,
they?
to be honest. Like the early stuff.
Yeah, this was the early
think
stuff.
it's
I think it
quite
was their
good.
first album. But I don't remember much about it, apart from they had a phone box on the stage.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was all kind of just using kind of just British,
Yeah,
anything sort of random British. Put that on there.
yeah.
I'm not a massive Oasis fan, really.
No, me neither.
They've just got two good albums, haven't they? And then few B-sides, and then largely the rest of it's rubbish.
Yeah, entirely rubbish, isn't it? I don't.
I mean, obviously, I'm a
little.
little bit too young. I remember sort of seeing the older kids who looked like they were into Oasis sort of hanging out and thinking, oh, I wish I was them. I wish I was a bit older and I could dress like Liam Gallagher and
Yeah,
stand outside the leisure centre and, whatever. But I was too young for it. And then I remember when I wasn't too young for when Be Here Now came out.
yeah,
And I think for about 6 months I tried to convince myself it was good.
yeah.
And
good.
then just admitted defeat in the end. And it's rubbish. That's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It sounds so bad. Like the production on it is just like bizarre.
I just remember every song being really unnecessarily long. Anyway.
Yeah.
I used to have a Oasis T-shirt where the box around their name was in the Union Jack colours. I bought it in Virgin Megastore Plymouth. I was very proud of it.
Yeah.
Walking around
They loved all
Clumpton.
that as well, didn't they? Union Jack.
They did, yeah,
They've
yeah.
timed it as well, haven't they, for, Labour back in power.
Oh, they have, yeah. I honestly, I wore that T-shirt at the Clumpton Community College School Fete, and me and my friend played Wonderwall for the people there, and we were the absolute toast of the town.
Really?
Yeah.
I've told you this story on this podcast before, haven't I, about when I had to play Don't Look Back in Anger at my cousin's wedding.
Yes, that's right.
And my older brother who plays the drums, was supposed to be there, and it was supposed to be me, my two brothers, and my dad playing it.
Yeah.
A family band thing
Yeah.
that we've never done before or since, but felt obligated to when asked.
Yeah.
And then my brother just didn't come.
Yeah,
So the groom
drummer.
ended up playing the drums.
Oh, yeah.
Electric drum kit, and he got the fill wrong.
Oh.
On his own, I was like, mate, this is on you. This is your wedding day. If you don't mind ruining your own wedding, then that's fine.
And was the wedding day ruined?
Well, it was for me, yeah.
Okay, right, good.
Can't
And
speak,
the bride,
can't speak
how
for
did she
anybody
feel?
else.
Is the bride happy?
I think she didn't really care.
Okay, good. Should we talk about the football?
Yeah, okay.
All right, so I wasn't there. I was listening on the radio. I was listening on Grecian Plus.
Thoughts?
Well, it's more annoying than the EFL app, isn't it? Like, it's not an app, so I'm having to be on the website, and then I went to go on XWeb, as everyone does, and it cut it out. And
You can't have it.
you can as a window, but it's all really annoying. Like, you forget, don't you? Why is it not an app?
I don't know.
I have to pay me money. And then to
This
watch the
whole thing, I know
highlights.
we're banging on about this. Yeah, the highlight thing's annoying. It was better on that app, wasn't it? You
Yeah.
didn't have to watch the ads. I know I keep banging on about this, but it seems like this whole thing's just been done in a way to kind of like, for the clubs but more importantly for the whoever it is, Sky or whatever, supplying it to kind of make a load of cash. And then the actual implementation of it has just been like a complete afterthought. And they've just gone like, well, whatever. Just put some work experience kids on it, like it just seems kind of badly thought out,
Yeah.
And it worked quite well before. It wasn't brilliant, but
No,
it did work well.
It
It
worked
worked
perfectly
better.
well. Occasionally it did strange things, but the concept was right, whereas this feels like all wrong. And I don't imagine we're going to get an app this season, so it'll just be this for a whole year of annoyance.
Yeah. Can you still just listen to it on a normal radio?
Yes, but obviously you have to be in Devon.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, what about on digital?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because if Argyle, they don't split the digital three ways.
Okay, right.
So if Argyle are playing at the same time, you're quite likely not to get it.
Oh, come on. It's 2024.
It's weird, isn't it?
Should be able to do this
And
sort of shit by now.
I get that when Radio Devon weren't allowed to do that because they wanted everyone to pay for the EFL app. But now that doesn't even work, so it's all annoying.
Anyway.
I listened on that, so I got the whole thing.
So, I think there's one change from the week before with, I can't remember who started on the left. Was it Harper in the last game?
Yeah.
Anyway, he's injured again. So it was Macmillan on the left wing.
Yes.
And Ryan Woods back from his lengthy ban.
Yeah.
In the centre of midfield.
Good to see him back, though.
Very good to see him back. And less good, I would say. It's weird, isn't it? Because when we signed Macmillan, who, by the way, whenever I picture in my mind, it's just Jonathan Grounds. That's just who I'm picturing. You remember him?
Yeah, I remember him, yeah.
He's just the face. Because I think, I don't know what Macmillan looks like. Maybe I'll learn what he looks like, but at the moment I can't. So it's just Jonathan Grounds. So
Jonathan Grounds, of course, now famously, since the death of that woman in Spain, the world's oldest man.
Yes, yeah, he is. Yeah. Guinness Book of Records.
That's right. Yes.
What I would say is, so he signed him, and we're like, right, he's a right back,
Yeah.
or maybe a right wing back, and a bit of centre midfield.
Yeah.
We've seen him in centre midfield, and now we've seen him left wing.
Yes.
And I would say no thanks to
Okay.
that.
All right, duly noted.
Don't want that to happen again.
Memo to Gary.
I think that probably is more. We've got everyone who could play there is injured. Will Shirt.
Yeah.
He's injured forever.
Yeah.
Harper injured.
Yeah.
Watts, can he play there? Don't know. He's injured. Everyone else, whoever they are, injured. So he's playing there, and it wasn't very good. And then Niskanen on the other side, and then so that's kind of how it went. And then so you've got, Woods coming in from Macmillan essentially, who's moved out. And then it's Ali and McGuinness up front, sort of.
Yeah.
So and with one of them kind of, I think it was more Ali kind of dropping, how it looked to me, and then McGuinness playing further up. He looked a bit ineffective, McGuinness. We've seen him a lot against non-league sides in the friendlies at the start of the year, and he looked brilliant.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's probably fairly obvious, but now comes the kind of, is he kind of, I don't know. I still think he's useful. I think he's a good signing, and I like the profile of the style of player.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a little bit probably up against the kind of really good teams,
like Peterborough.
Yeah, he's probably not going to be the most. They'll be able to deal with that.
Yeah. Okay.
And he didn't look the strongest. Anyway, first half quite good.
Mm-hmm.
On the whole, started very well.
So we went ahead.
Reece
early,
Cole,
right?
goal.
4
It was
minutes.
early, yeah. Balls just sort of bounced around in the area. It's one of several good kind of balls up from the back in behind by John Lee Efeko that happened in the first half, and we were getting a lot of joy out of that. It was really good, and this was led from one of them. It bounced around, lands a Reece Cole, he turns and smashes it in. Brilliant.
Very nice.
Great start. Didn't last long. Peterborough equalised a few minutes later.
I think it was 4 and 7.
There you go. Yeah. Bad defending.
Does McGuinness lose it on the edge of the...
Yeah, we try to play it out from the back and get crowded out. Both the teams in the first half played very similar, which was, similarly kind of set up. Possibly, I think Peterborough might have been a bit more of a kind of back four with kind of two on the, rather than one wide player on each side, kind of two, but they pressed high when we had the ball, in our own, from, our own area and our own half. And we did the same to them. We had a lot of joy with that, the high press, and it looked brilliant. And we were winning the ball back over and over again. But then this time, McGuinness gets muscled off the ball. He could just boot it, but that's not how we kind of play, is it? And that will happen.
Yeah.
You have to kind of take that risk if you want to play out. And then they just slotted it in.
It almost looked like it wasn't gonna, wasn't it? And then it just kind of creeps in the far post.
Yeah. Actually, Milenic Ali had a very similar chance, which from a similar kind of angle, bit more difficult probably, and it just went fairway wide, but
So
even first time. But then they scored again.
But in that first half, right?
But before that, we kind of the equaliser had happened. We reacted well. We were playing really well, and then Woods was kind of really getting going. Then he was looked like he was enjoying it, and he was running it, and we were making opportunities, including that one for Ali, and there's a couple others. They also had chances. Joel Randall had a good chance. Jack Sparks played him in.
Mm-hmm.
Entertaining first half. It was good, and then they scored again. And this one was worse from our point of view, I think. This guy just gets it, and then he just walks through the entire team and has a shot, and it goes in. There's several points of, that's not good enough. Niskanen tries to sort of foul him and doesn't.
Yeah.
And, just foul him. Just take a yellow card. Just grab him and throw him on the floor,
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's Woods is out of position, I think, because...
He's kind of heading off, isn't he? And then he loses the ball, and he never...
There's just no one.
Ground,
There's this massive... Once Niskanen's kind of missed this kind of opportunity to pull him down, he's just got a huge gap between kind of halfway and the edge of the penalty area where Kramer is and whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just sort of waltzes through and smashes it.
It's a heck of a shot.
It is. Bit of criticism online, ex-web mainly, for the goalkeeper.
Again.
And I think at that point, he could probably be better positioned, or he could react a bit better, or if he was taller, maybe he would have got it, all these things. But it shouldn't have got to that point in the first place.
Yeah.
There's still a problem. There's still potentially a problem. I'm not fully defending Whitworth to, I think we need more. Again, we still need more evidence. There was, there's been a few issues. Just goals we've given away where you think, he maybe could have done better, but he's young and it's early on, and I don't know. Anyway, the ball took a bit from where I was stood, pretty much right behind the goal on Big Bank. It took a big old swerve, the shot.
Right.
So he's been wrong-footed a bit, I think. But anyway.
That's half time.
That's disappointing because, like I said, we were doing all right at 1-1. And that's half time. Yeah.
So Colwell was obviously... Well, that's just not what you want. Is it in a sense, both those early goals were kind of... Not anomalies, but it's weird, isn't it? The pattern of the game hasn't really been established yet. They got no excuse, really. For
they're kind of poor ones to give away.
Yeah.
2 poor goals. Sloppy if you were a bit... But again, I'm hoping it's... they're very good attacking team, Peterborough.
Yeah.
So you can't give them opportunities like that, and that's what we get. You're going to get punished if you kind of make mistakes like that against good teams in this league. And then second half, they just did the job. The ref was annoying.
What was he up to?
Just giving everything. They were going over for everything, and it was very professionally done job by Peterborough.
Yeah.
And in the second half, they just didn't let us play at all. I mean, they didn't need to. They sat off in a kind of, I suppose, people call it a mid-block, don't they, these days?
Yes.
Kind of did that kind of thing to us.
Okay.
And they had chances on the break to score. There's a penalty.
Yes, of course.
That came from our corner.
What caused the penalty?
So we have a corner.
Yeah.
It doesn't beat the first man. They break.
And we had a few corners like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was the worst one.
Okay.
And then they break. And then Whitworth brings the guy down, and he doesn't need to. This guy, he's going nowhere.
Okay.
It's just going out of play. He just doesn't need to bring him down. And you could say maybe he didn't even touch him,
right?
But he's given the referee a question to answer.
Yeah, sure.
And from his angle, it just looks like a penalty, And so, but then he saved it.
Yeah, so it's a second penalty saved in normal time.
Yeah. So up steps Archie Collins, who
In front of the big bank.
In front of the big bank. Bottled it big time. Crap. Well, not the worst penalty in the world, but very savable penalty. Archie Collins has got himself one of these mullets.
Oh, he hasn't.
Yeah.
No.
It looks really bad. Like it's not it's not like a kind of Pat Sharp.
Okay.
You know, it's or a Kevin Keegan kind of style one.
Yeah.
It's like a kind of, ones kind of rugby lads, and like lads
shaved over
now.
your ears,
sort of shaved over, but quite bulky at the back, and
Archie.
it really doesn't suit him.
Oh,
when people like him, and he's a kind of deeply unstylish man, and kind of like, very good footballer, Collins, but you can't imagine that he's particularly on the cusp of any kind of like cultural movement, and he's kind of you saw it a lot with the top knot, where deeply unstylish men decided to get the top knot, but about 4 years after, I'm not saying I like the top knot, I never did, or the mullet, to be honest, but like when it's been around for like 4 years, now is not the time to then get one, but people do it. They did it with the top knot, they're doing it with this, and he's just like, mate, if you're going to do that, you should have done it 3 years ago. You can't get one now. You look ridiculous, and he did look ridiculous.
And even more ridiculous when he has the penalty save.
Looks even more. I mean, hopefully people were picking up on the mullet situation, because I think it really was the icing on the cake of the penalty miss for me.
The icing on the cake of the penalty miss. That's an excellent sentence. And then sounded from the radio like we were then kind of pushed, like that kind of gave us a bit of a boost.
Oh, it did, but then nothing much came of that.
Right.
It really felt like, okay, right, we've done that. Chance go out. He's one of our own. Archie Collins.
I heard that.
Funny. And now that was the time. Right, a bit of impetus. Again, we're facing the wrong way, by the way, because they've
worked out our secret weapon.
Yeah. But we couldn't make the most of it. We didn't hit the target in the second half, so you can't have any complaints. I'll tell you who, Macy came on.
Doyle.
Yeah. What's his first name?
Kamari.
He came on and he looked good.
Okay.
He looked like a man who knows what he's doing.
Okay.
So I'm interested in him.
Well, has he come from Brighton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But he looked. So
he had 10 minutes, didn't he, at Northampton, and then he had half an hour?
No, not quite. But I like the look of him, but ultimately couldn't make any. There was more going on. We couldn't break him down. And
what's going on here with this substitution, Gary? Purrington comes on for McGuinness.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
Well, Purrington then went to where Macmillan is.
Right.
Macmillan went to where Millenic Alley is, and Millenic Alley went where McGuinness was.
Did that work for Macmillan?
I can't remember.
Okay.
It didn't matter by that point.
Done.
What you don't really want. Like Purrington looked all right actually, trying to get down the left hand side.
Did he?
And then Doyle was kind of over there as well, that side of the centre midfield almost. So that looked okay. But yeah, I think it just yesterday, because of the injuries, it highlighted our lack of attacking options basically.
Yeah.
And he didn't bring on Borges, which I was kind of surprised about. But I think maybe Doyle took that kind of role. And then we're not left with many options, given maybe the players you need to bring off. I don't know. But yeah, we are short. Because, if we had a full squad, Mitchell, Harper, Wildshire, Watt, Sonny Cox, Jay Bird even,
Yeah, is he?
Who knows? He's injured, I think.
He's injured, is he?
But anyway, if we had the full complement, you thought, okay, we got options from the bench, but none of them are there. So there was pretty limited options.
Okay.
And that, it really is the story of the match.
What were the food queues like?
Very big. I did not get involved, but they were huge. So, even at half time, massive.
So obviously the late kickoff change last time wasn't the actual problem. There's something wrong with the system.
Yeah.
So are they still not opening the jungle path one before the game?
I think someone said that was open.
Okay, right. So you're just going to need more staff, aren't they?
More staff.
Staff and points.
Points?
Where you can go to get
some food. I see. I thought you meant points, like 3 points.
We need 3 points as well, but I'm just focusing on the real stuff here.
Yeah, the food options.
Food options.
I think really if I was going to give any advice to Exeter supporters going to the match, I would say bring your own food. Bring your own food. Bring a sandwich. Bring whatever.
Okay.
You know?
Good advice.
Go Effes before and get yourself a nice halloumi wrap.
Lovely. So that means we're still on 3 points. We're -1 on the goal difference.
Yes.
And
Well, we've lost 3 games in a row now. Obviously,
17th.
one of them's in the League Cup.
Obviously, nothing to panic about yet. It's good to have 3 points on the board, but...
Well, the next 2 games are Bolton away.
Yep.
Remember that last season? 7-0.
Yep.
And Birmingham City at home, who, are, what are they doing there? What are they even doing in this division? They keep signing players for, championship kind of money because they're a championship level team.
Yeah.
Are in League One. So we'll probably get battered in both those games. And then we've got Blackpool away.
Yeah, so I made a mistake because I've been telling anyone who'd listened to me, that it's Swindon at home on the evening of the 3rd. And it is, but it's the old EFL trophy. I don't know how I got that so confused in my head. Anyway.
Are Swindon even in League One?
Well, I was like, yeah, but they're obviously not, are they?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Didn't get promoted last year, did they? No, so they're not.
So, yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
You can go to that if you want.
Go to that if you want, but it's not what I was looking for. So, yeah. Okay, well, we'll talk about what's coming up in a second, shall we?
Well, yeah. Anything... That's about it, I suppose, isn't it, for part...
We've covered the food
Part
cues.
A. I'm trying to think if there's any other bits.
Ferguson and Colwell, best of friends?
Nothing... don't know.
Steve Evans got himself banned for that last insane...
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Colwell got a yellow card.
Oh, did he?
That's not very interesting, is it?
But it's not surprising.
We should have talked about Oasis more.
We talk about Sven.
He's dead.
Well, Sven.
Poor old Sven.
I got a good story about Sven. My friend used to live on the same road as him. That makes it sound like my friend's living in a posh location. This was Camden. And he lived at one end of the street in a normal flat. And Sven lived at the other end of the street in a gated house.
Right.
And Nancy was often there. And then the paparazzi, when that all came out, this time, Ulrika and that. But Sven every day would go for I guess what you'd call a power walk in full gear. So he's really committed to it, right? Carrying weights or weights on his wrist.
People don't do that anymore, do they?
They don't do that anymore, no.
It was a really big thing.
It
Like,
really was.
probably late 90s, power walking.
That's exactly when this was, I guess.
Yeah.
Early noughties.
Yeah.
But bearing in mind, right, he was the England manager. They get a lot of gear, right?
Yeah.
He could also have been sponsored by any sports company. He knows where to get sports stuff from, right? All those things are possible. He would always wear, no word of a lie, a bright, luminous pink shell suit. So,
Cool.
you say what you want about the man. He knew what he wanted,
Yeah.
which was to light up Camden very bright.
He's not concerned about, sponsorship deals.
He really wasn't.
He's just mainly concerned with shagging and being a football manager. A very good one, actually.
He enjoyed his life, I think.
Definitely.
Power walking, though. What a thing.
Yeah. Oh, poor old Sven.
Yeah. I love that.
Colourful football character.
He was. I love that they got him in for Liverpool for that charity match. That was great.
David Beckham went to stay with him as well, didn't he?
Yeah, delivered him some posh wine, apparently.
Yeah, good lad.
Well, yeah, there you go. So, see you later, Sven. Thanks for those good memories. They were good. At the beginning, it was like, oh, he's great.
Yeah.
And he was always a good character. Did he do anything after England?
I can't remember. Didn't he manage like Thailand or something at one point?
Oh, that rings a bell. Yeah.
Probably did some stuff. And he was Lazio before, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah. I recall his pre-England stuff. Anyway, we'll talk about Exeter City some more in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. Remember, you can email us, bigbankpod@gmail.com. We're still on X. We're clinging on by our fingernails at Big Bang Pod. And we're on Facebook as well.
Yeah, get in touch with us on all those different things.
Please do find us on Reddit. We're not there.
We're not on there.
Find us on Be Real. We're not there.
Is that still going?
Oh, I don't know.
I've never really...
I liked it for about a month when loads of students would all take their photo of themselves at the same time and shout, "Be real!" I thought I could get on board with this, but it seems to have faded out.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sven, I think he was the last person that kept up the, I'm bold, but I'm keeping the long hair around the edges.
Yeah, you never see that
It's
anymore.
gone.
No, everyone does the Phil Mitchell, don't they? The Grant Mitchell.
Yeah.
Shave it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, obviously there is one other that
Who?
you're forgetting about, who's,
Who's-
I guess, not allowed to shave his head, which is Prince William.
Oh, it's pretty short now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like, he's creeping it,
Yeah.
but he's not really allowed, because you can't have skinhead king, can you? Is he the king?
Yeah. I mean,
Prince.
Harold Hardrager was probably a skinhead king, but you're right. In the current,
You're not allowed to have a skinhead prince, you know?
yeah, unless you're like into reggae music.
Yeah, I mean, he's not allowed to do that either, because he's not allowed to wear like a Ben Sherman and like some,
No,
bother boots.
I feel sorry for the lad whose name I've forgotten.
I don't feel sorry for him at all.
Fine. That's
Why do you feel sorry for him?
I just think-
Because he has to wear a suit?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
give him a football shirt.
He'll survive.
He will survive. Anyway, Sven, our one true prince,
Yeah.
never shaved it. He did towards the end, but in England era, it was real like high.
It's a real kind of lesson out there for all you lads
Yeah.
who you're thinking, I'm not the best looking person around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you can't be a true player. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
You've just got, it's much more about the riz, as they would say nowadays,
it's like the pink Chelsea.
than it is about what you look like. Have a look at this Nancy. What's her surname again?
Delalio.
Look at Nancy Delalio
Yeah.
and look at Sven when
Yeah.
they're going out.
Yeah.
That is just about character. That's personality.
That's pizzazz.
That's pizzazz, you know? So if you're thinking, I'm a 5 at best,
Yeah.
don't worry about it. Sven was probably a 4, you know?
Yeah.
And he has pulled her and a lot of other very attractive women.
I mean, remarkable. Just
Just goes to show.
embrace it. Anyway, there we are. So Saturday, it's Bolton Wanderers, stupidest named ground in the land, the Tough Sheet.
Yes, and last time we went there, we lost 7-0.
Really shows, yeah, that's bad, but it really shows how the mighty have fallen, doesn't it? When it was called the Reebok Stadium, when it was built, Reebok was cool, right? And I know it's kind of cool.
Wasn't that cool?
It's cool enough.
Yeah, but they weren't like... Yeah, okay, it's cooler than whatever Tough Sheet is. Yeah,
Building suppliers, like
yeah, it's cooler than that.
yeah.
I think Reebok's never been one of the kind of like really cool...
No,
kind
of course
sports
not. But in
companies, what-
1997,
Yeah, they had the Reebok pumps.
They had the
Yeah,
Reebok
they were
pumps.
cool.
anyway, yeah, we got absolutely pumped last time we were there.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be 7-0 again.
Well, they're not having a good season so far.
No, they lost 3-0 to Port Vale at the weekend.
But that team is full of
Yeah, there's
players,
good players in
not
there.
in the Sven style.
No. Player ER at the
Yeah.
end, not an A at the end.
So our old nemesis Aaron Collins is there.
Is he Bristol Rovers guy, yeah?
Bristol Rovers fella, always caused us problems.
Randall Williams is there, but I don't know
Never
if he's
caused
injured,
us a
but he's not
problem.
really getting in the... no, he hasn't. He's not really getting in the team.
Josh Sheehan.
Yeah, he's good.
So it's this Ian Everett manager who obviously came with all the, he's been there a long time now.
He has, yeah.
It's not quite worked, although they were really close last season, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, yeah.
So, I mean, inevitably, they'll turn on the pumping in time for our arrival.
Well, I
probably.
expect them to do better than they currently have done so far. I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe there's things.
I think they're still bringing... If you search the Bolton newspapers, it looks like they're searching for several more signings before the season's out.
Okay.
Is transfer deadline day this Saturday?
Friday?
Friday, is it? 30th?
I think so.
Right, okay. So anyway,
I could be wrong.
that's obviously... They're looking to bring in some more. Is Colwell going to manage to get some more? I know he's brought in 10 players. And I know Doyle looks good.
Well, the big rumour
Yeah.
is this lad who's had a bit of a bizarre turn of events happen to him at Wigan.
Okay.
Jordan Jones.
Jordan Jones.
I think he was released and then they re-signed him for like 2 weeks and then they've released him again.
Right.
He's a kind of very flary kind of like winger. He'd be exactly what we need. I think it looks like to me like he plays on the right wing but is left-footed kind of thing.
Okay. Scottish? No, Irish. Northern Irish.
Okay, yeah,
So might know, and has played for them.
yeah.
So might have a connection with MG. No, that's not his name.
Josh McGuinness.
Yeah, JM. Can't do me initials.
Yeah. It's a confusing one because of the muck.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, so but he may, I don't know, I think that's the big rumour. It's not happened yet. Maybe it will happen, maybe he'll go somewhere else, but he's definitely leaving Wigan. Wigan fans seem a bit upset about it. They're particularly upset that when they suspected he was coming to Exeter, because they were kind of thinking, well, we can't compete with Exeter for players. But there's probably more to it than that, isn't it? But budgets are different, and I don't know, maybe he wants to be by the sea.
So he left.
Wigan, of course, is by the sea, so different type of sea.
He left.
Is Wigan by the sea?
It's got a pier, but I think that's
what
a
I'm thinking
canal,
of, Wigan
isn't
Pier.
it?
But I was thinking, like, am I stupid? Is Wigan Pier not in Wigan?
Wigan Pier is in Wigan, but I don't think it's a sea pier.
Really? So Wigan's not by the sea?
Let me look. I think that's true. Wigan Pier. Yeah, it's a canal pier.
Right. Pretty big canal then, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's where the coal went.
Well, they dumped all the coal in the canal.
I think that's where it got transported.
Oh.
So no, it's 10 miles from the sea.
Okay, maybe he wants to be by the sea then. We're 10 miles from the sea.
Yes.
This is a stupid train of...
Let me tell you about him. So he didn't sign for them last year. At the end of the year, he wanted a better deal.
Right, yeah, okay.
He then couldn't get a better deal, so did sign a short-term deal with them. But he played 3 games. But,
yeah.
But
well, that was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So I don't know how short-term the short-term deal was.
But now it's definitely off.
He's off. Yeah.
He looks really good if you look at the old highlights reel.
Okay.
But he's not young, is he? He's 27, 29, something like that.
Right.
But we need players. We need players like that. We need wide attacking players, definitely.
29's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
McGuinness. What's he called? McGuinness. He's older.
I think he's 34,
signed
isn't
him.
he? Yeah.
Now,
according to Wigan today...
We had Jonathan Grounds, and he was 67.
Yes, that's right. He was 3 years into his pension.
And Rory McArdle. How old was he?
Yeah. He was Northern Irish too, wasn't he? Rory McArdle.
He's ancient.
Yeah, he was.
He's the one whose knob came off or something, wasn't it?
He pierced his scrotum.
These things get...
Yeah.
The memory gets blurred over time.
Yes, that's how urban myths start. Yeah, so according to some things, he's already made a deal with us. But obviously that's just the media talking.
Yeah.
We'll see. That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then I think Caldwell kind of said in the post-match that, there was still a couple more. That we're trying to get in more than one. I don't know. There's not long left now. I think if it wasn't for all the injuries, I'd be thinking, maybe we're okay. If we were to get this fella.
Yeah. So with this fella, it looks like...
Because we do need a replacement for Wiltshire because he's out for the whole season.
Yeah. With this lad, it looks like... I'm kind of reading between the lines, but the Wigan manager said he wants to be able to provide for his family long term or something like that. So I wonder if that means we're offering him a longer contract than Wigan are.
Yeah. Well, we are doing that a bit more.
We are doing that a bit more, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see what happens with that between now and the next episode, because then the transfer window will be closed and we'll know what the squad is then.
Yep.
Does the loan window still go on a bit longer, or is that kind of...
Honestly,
don't worry about looking it up.
Anymore.
It's just whatever, That might be a thing.
We'll probably... I'd imagine if we're buying someone like this... Sorry, giving someone like this a contract... We'd then look for the promising loanee, Harris style, wouldn't we?
Well, haven't we just got him, though?
What, Matey Doyle?
Yeah.
No, yeah, maybe.
Maybe there'll be more. We don't have any insight.
We do not. We're just here to tell you how good Sven did.
Yeah.
By going out with Nancy and Ulrika and everyone else.
Yeah. We haven't got any. We haven't got any links to the club, have we?
None. Zero.
Everyone knows this who's listening, so I don't know why I'm bringing that up. But.
Yeah, so we got nothing. Okay. Anything else to say?
Probably.
Good.
Let me consult my notes. Done all that. Oh, there's just a thing of Josh Key.
Oh yeah, finally.
So the tribunal has been. That's
finally
over.
Got paid for Josh Key.
So he's one of these young players who we got to try. He can go whenever. They didn't sign the contract.
Yeah.
Don't know what that's reference to, so I'm ignoring it.
Oh, fine.
Oh,
Finally, it has happened to me.
yeah. Okay.
Right in front of my face.
Yeah, they didn't do that song, did they? They did. They tried getting "I've Got the Key, I've Got the Secret" kind of off the ground, didn't it? But it doesn't really translate into a football chant. Anyway, so the tribunal's been passed,
Yes.
accepted, whatever.
Yes.
It's not been made public, the figure.
No.
At
least we're getting the figure, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, that's how that works, but we don't get to know how much it is. In the past, I feel like that was always kind of known. We always knew how much we got in the past, didn't we? Because, we knew about Ampadu. I don't know why this time it's closed. There's kind of... This sparked a bit of debate online again. People saying like, no, you shouldn't be asking how much we're getting for this. Just be, trust the whatever. I get that. But at the same time, I'm not sure how that works because, it's trust owned, right?
Well,
I know. I don't think they're obliged to tell every single trust member every single bit of information. But is that not something is that not worthy of, the comment? I don't know.
Well, according to the BBC...
I don't buy this thing as well, but you go like, we can't let anyone know how much money we've got.
No,
I think that's bollocks.
So according to the BBC, the PFCC, which is the Football Compensation Committee...
Yeah.
Proceedings and award amount are confidential.
Confidential even to the owners of the football club.
Well...
That's what I understand.
Yeah,
I understand that normally.
Yeah.
This is a bit different because this is supporter owned. So you... aren't in it's not just like in a kind of like, it's not like when you work at John Lewis and they say like, you're a partner.
No.
And you're going like, oh, am I good? I've got so
Can we change the name to John of the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It does actually mean that you are you do literally own it, right? I know not in any kind of real meaningful way, but that is literally the financial situation.
Yeah.
So I don't really... I don't know.
I think...
I don't care.
I think what
Who
happens
gives a
here...
shit?
Because do you remember with Ampadu and Cresceni and...
Stansfield?
Do you remember Taggy? My history's a bit murky here, but there was definitely a time, and I think it was...
That's Julian Tagg, by the way, if only listeners who are...
Yeah. I think it was Ampadu. Where did he go first?
John's saying Taggy like he's mates with him, but he isn't.
Where did he go first, Ampadu? Chelsea. No, it's one of them. I think it was Cresceni to Villa. Taggy was really like... Fair play to Villa. They've been very decent in their dealings with us. And part of that was, and they've agreed that we can talk about this.
Right.
And I think probably sounds to me like Swansea being like, nope. And we will tell our owners, i.e. us, when the books come out, when the accounts are published, down the line. So it's stupid, really, because you can't keep that kind of thing secret.
No.
But Swansea, given that the rules of the way it operates are like, we want to stick with that.
Okay.
I'd imagine that's the case. And I think with Villa, it was really like, no, Villa have been good about this.
Right.
And it sounds like Swansea aren't. And Swansea are all a bit strangely owned these days, aren't they?
Are they a bit supporter-owned as well?
They were, and now they're not again, I think.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yes, that rings a bell.
I think that's probably... And in a year, we'll be like, oh yeah, look, it was 500,000. But at this current point in time... because then they can say to the Swansea supporters, once it does come out, oh yeah, what does it matter? That was years ago. Josh Key's left now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's stupid, isn't it? Like, I don't know why they're all so dishonest. Or, it makes me feel like most clubs are really shifty in what they do.
It's a murky old world, isn't
right.
it?
That's what it is.
Football finances. It's all that people talk about nowadays.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a shame to end the podcast on this because it is such a boring thing to talk about.
Tell you what won't be boring.
Yeah.
When Man City get docked a gazillion points and relegated to League One. And
that's not going to happen.
Haaland has to come and...
They are owned by the ramifications if they do that, given who their ownership is. I'm not saying they're not going to get punished, but they're not going to get. It's not going to be like that. It'll just be some.
You're going to be minus 50 points, and they'll still win the league.
Probably not even 50.
Yeah.
It'll probably be like 15,
and they'll still win the
they'll
league.
still win the league or something.
Yeah.
You mean? And if they don't, they'll still come second, and like it will all be. Forgotten. You can't just go like charging sovereign states with financial impropriety and expect you're just the Premier League. It's not like that's an actual nation. Again, that is quite boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
It is.
Do you ever listen to that guy Kieran Maguire? Just his Price of Football podcast.
I have a little bit here and there.
Obviously, City appear on it sometimes, don't they? Because we're an interesting example. But yeah, it's recommended. If you are interested in this, listener, I'd tell you to go and look that up. Kieran
Any
Maguire.
other podcasts you'd like to recommend? What about The Rest Is Politics?
No, haven't listened to The Rest Is Politics. I'm unlikely to.
I don't want. No, I'm not recommending that. By the
No.
way, don't listen to that. It's shit, and it's
Yeah, I don't know. Do I recommend any podcasts? I feel like I've hit a rut with podcasts. Hopefully you haven't listened. Hopefully you're enjoying, particularly your football
Maybe we're
based.
part of a rut.
Maybe we are.
I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head to recommend, but I think I would suggest just run a search on anything that you might be interested in,
Yeah.
and see if there's a podcast about it. There's one about this. There's several about Exeter City. Well, at least there was. Oh, just not end it on a
Unnecessary
completely
dig. Yeah.
completely terrible note.
Yeah.
I felt a bit bad about slagging off Park Life.
Oh yeah.
In the last episode.
Good.
Because I've never listened to it, and then I was thinking, what is it? Is it that video thing they do, or was it a podcast as well?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was both.
But did they turn it into a podcast
Yeah.
most recently, and now it's gone again?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't think they're doing the video either.
I listened to like maybe a minute of the first, half an episode of the very first one. I don't think that's enough evidence for me to go saying it's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life, because that's just that's unfair.
Okay.
So I'm retracting that, and if they do bring it back, then I wish them all the luck in the world.
Okay. All right. Good. Thanks for that. I would recommend, if you're interested, there's a really interesting podcast about the river in Los Angeles that they concreted up a la Exeter. So they changed the route of the river.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's all now this concrete thing. And
that's what they did here as well. I mean, I know it's a concrete
as you
river.
can see from looking at it. And
sometimes they drain it out as well. You can have a look at that. That's curious.
Yeah. You can find like an old Argyle supporter underneath it all, just lying there in the sludge.
Maybe.
And I thought that's interesting because our river is mad, isn't it? When you think about it, rivers should be where all the stuff grows, and you can't grow anything there because it's all concrete. Thus ends my story.
Yeah, well, there's other bits of the river that plenty.
There are other bits of the river, yeah.
Stuff growing on there. And it's hard to, it's hard to get stuff growing in it. So let's not be too harsh.
I'm not. You asked for a podcast recommendation.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
Then maybe there's some good podcasts out there about ghosts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there isn't.
No.
UFOs.
Yeah, don't Google that. You'll go down a right old rabbit hole. You'll be with Letizia and we're back onto Ricky Lambert again.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Has Letizia got his own podcast?
I don't know. Wouldn't listen to that if I were you.
No.
Or if I were me, which I am.
You are you, and you're not recommending.
I am very much me.
Good. And on that note, we'll be back next week to talk about Bolton Wanderers. And
yes, please not 7-0. We don't need that.
A nice 3-0 to City. 3-1. I take 3-1.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Wouldn't that be great? All right. Well, we'll see you then, listener. Thanks for listening. As always, my name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.